Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, dear colleagues and friends. When I addressed this conference last year, I spoke of the necessity to deal with the enlargement fatigue that we noticed within and outside of the European Union. Today, with Croatia leading the newly redynamized integration course of Southeastern Europe, my assessment is that we have done a good job. In particular, Croatia has achieved a lot. Let me take the opportunity to warmly congratulate my colleague Gordan Jandrokovic, the government of Croatia and our Croatian friends on the successful conclusion of the remaining chapters. The results speak for themselves. This is an extremely important signal not only for Croatia but also for the region and for the European Union itself. Ladies and gentlemen, as a consequence, the message to the other partners in the Western Balkans is crystal clear. First, the European perspective with the stabilization and association process and its instruments has proven to be the main and the right engine for progress. I'm certain that this momentum will continue to do so for all countries of the region. Secondly, the Croatian example demonstrates that at the end of the day, hard work, dedication and the implementation of reform pays off. And this is also true for all countries in the region. Think about the success we have had with the visa liberalization. All countries in the region, except Kosovo so far, have managed to adapt and to implement the necessary steps that were needed to lift the visa regime. Dear colleagues, this morning I would, however, like to briefly speak about a slightly different topic, which is based on the Austrian experience in the region: the role of economic integration in the enlargement process. As you may know, Austria is the largest foreign investor not only in Croatia, Bosnia and Herzegovina and Serbia, but overall our companies rank among the tops in terms of direct investment and in the entire region. To give you an example, in Croatia alone, Austria has effectuated investments of 6.5 billion euros between 1993 and 2010. This is around 1/4 of the combined foreign direct investment in the country. Last year alone, Austria invested 210 million euros in Croatia. Despite this positive scenario, I need to make some remarks with regard to the investment situation in Croatia in general. Being an EU member is a huge advantage, and the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages. But by itself, EU membership will not do the trick. I can only warn of the widespread belief that once Croatia is in the EU, foreign investments will just stream in. Investment decisions are rather based on the overall climate towards them, and there Croatia has still quite some homework to do. So, point one, foreign investment is good, it leads to a win-win situation for both sides, and it is one of the ways to bring our economies closer. And as we all know, economic integration is the backbone of the European project. Having said this, point two, when it comes to economic cooperation and integration, we should no longer think in national terms, but in terms of regional markets and sub-economies. This is where I see a huge asset here, an economic region with around 25 million consumers. Based on a common history, culture and understanding how to do business, the region will automatically drift into the direction of an economic cluster. This is the comparative advantage of the Western Balkans vis-à-vis other areas. I'm convinced that geography does play a role. Let's just think in this context about the wider Danube-Pannonian Mediterranean area. In this sense, also Austria forms an integral part of the Balkans. Point three, what can we do to further improve and deepen the already existing cooperation? We can, for instance, pool our efforts in order to make the best possible use of the recently approved EU strategy for the Danube region. The Danube strategy offers a unique frame for concerted action also for countries of the region which are not or not yet members of the European Union. The biggest transformatory power, also in the economic field, is the prospect of EU membership. Thus, the European perspective has to be kept alive for all the countries in the region. Some of the countries will progress in bigger steps towards Brussels. I am very confident that we will see concrete results in a few cases by the end of the year. Other countries need our continued support and sometimes pressure to return to the reform agenda and EU integration path. And then there are situations where we both, within the European Union and with our partners, need to learn how to better speak with one voice. The European project is available for all Europeans. There will be not any hole in this region, and therefore Austria and I will continuing to support all countries concerned on our joint way to Europe. Thank you very much for your attention.